Tell us something about your character in Virgin Bhanupriya.
So my character's name is Rukul, and the most amazing thing about her is that I think she's not bothered about what people think of her, how she's perceived. She's a go-getter. Whatever she wants, she just goes for it without any hesitation or giving it a second thought. And in that way, I think she's one of the most liberated characters I've played, because she's least bothered about anything but her own self, which, like, she can be perceived as selfish, but she's unapologetic and she just goes for what she wants, and I love that about her.
Okay, Virgin Bhanupriya is a new concept for the audience and something coming out of taboo actually. So, what is your opinion about it?
I think there shouldn't be any taboo about these things. It's very much a part of everybody's life. And I think it's about time we stop shying away from it. Even if it's, the more we shy away from it, the less we educate people. I think, especially for youngsters, it's important to be able to feel comfortable talking about it, asking questions, when it comes to losing your virginity and something like that. I think it's important to be able to turn to someone, and most of the time I think we feel extremely uncomfortable. And when these subjects are treated in a film like this, I feel like it just makes it more mainstream. It makes it easier for people to perceive it as something that's just a part of life and that you can talk about. So I genuinely feel that it's essential. It's not just important, it's absolutely necessary that it's about time we started getting comfortable talking about these things.
So, how is it shooting for Virgin Bhanupriya? As we all know that the shooting happened before lockdown and it's been a very long time we were waiting for the film to come. So, how is it?
It was good. I think initially we really had a good momentum, the schedule that we had in Goa, and even in Mumbai, there was this time when we were shooting continuously, and that was a lot of fun. I really liked to get into that momentum. After that, I think we took, a bit of a break. Then we were shooting in breaks, and that was probably a bit more difficult to get back into it. But apart from that, I think it was, for me personally, it was a good experience, because like I said, it was liberating and I got to do something totally different, and something that I had not even thought about. It's the kind of character, it had not even occurred to me that you could play as a woman, that you could play a character like that.
Okay, tell us something about Urvashi and your relationship off screen and on screen.
Well, off screen, I think it was professional. She's a very busy person, so I think the process was really going with the flow, like being in front of the camera, hearing action, and then just instinctive. I think that's how we worked on screen. Off screen, I mean, the rapport, the professional rapport. As for on screen, I think the chemistry is pretty good. It's really interesting to see the dynamic where you have one woman that's kind of trying to manipulate and dominate the other person, and that's pretty much what I'm doing. I'm just trying to guide her, to dominate her, to overpower her, while I'm also showing an example through my own life. There is what she's telling her to do, but there's also what she's living and showing just by being herself. So the chemistry was pretty nice, and I think you don't get to see women's equations in general, in films as much. The way they interact with each other, the way they talk to each other, I think that's interesting, and that would be interesting to watch. It was interesting to play, for sure.
Okay, any funny incidents from the set if you remember, any good memory or something?
Any good memories? That's that's an interesting question. I think the one memory that stayed with me, good or bad, was when we were shooting for the song, actually, Beat Pit Humka. That song, somehow the entire thing was shot in one night, and I think there was a kind of time crunch. which means that, you know, we had to be there like soldiers ready, whether we were required or not. We just had to be there at all times, and we were uh, really all very sleepy and just fighting that, and even sometimes fighting the urge to go to the washroom. So that was really, for me, that was funny. In retrospect, that was quite funny.
Okay. You've been a part of some iconic films, which is Ek Villain in 2016 or Irada. So, how have that feeling been in with you that you've been a part of such iconic films which are till date remembered by people?
For me, everything is a win. You know, I came with uh I came to Mumbai without any expectation, and everything I did, I took it as an opportunity and a gift. So all of that has been exceptional, and I cherish that. I cherish all of that. I think having had the opportunity to work with Nasir sir, that just blew my mind, and that is something that I think till the day I die, I will be grateful for, because I think many actors work for years and don't get the chance to work with him, and once you have, you are completely spoiled for everything else, because you expect you know, like I want to replicate that experience. I don't know if I will have the opportunity, but that is something that I will always be grateful for.
The characters you've played till date are very contrasting to each other. So, like, there is anything in your head when you decide your characters or something?
When I pick the characters,
So, like, what is the kind of your reason behind it, or any thought process that you have that I want to do this or I don't want to do that? I think you're.
I think once you commit to something, then for me, there's no option of saying I don't want to do something, because a commitment is a commitment, and my loyalty always lies with the film and the character, and there's no going back on that. As for the thought process, yeah, I mean, for me, I just feel like the character needs to sit into the story and, you know, like feel fleshed out, feel like a person. It can be a good person, a bad person, it can be someone that you like or you dislike, but it just has to feel like a three-dimensional person, and I should be able to feel that this is what this person is, this is how that person feels, and just sort of imagine them in their life and just sort of understand their feelings. And once you get those things right, then it just flows. For me, the difficult part is probably just the initial um, 4 or 5 days that you spend with the script and you try to understand the person. For me, it's kind of like making a new friend in a way, you know, when you're kind of, but the only difference is that you answer your own questions. You might feel like, you know, like when you're meeting a new person and you're like, what do you like, what do you dislike, and you want to get to know them, but on a deeper level, not like a casual chat. That's exactly what the process is like for me. It's like getting to know a new person, but you get intrusive instantly.
That's pretty good actually. This is something really different. Not much of the actors actually tell about it, but then this is something really contrasting to know. You are well versed with many languages. Have you ever felt that, oh, thank God I know this, or, thank God for this, I got this opportunity?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I feel like when you hone your skills, and I don't mean just acting skills, because I think acting involves a lot of other skills, because you're not going to play an actor most of the time. You're going to be playing a you know, people from different walks of life who have different professions or who are good at something and not at the other, whatever it is. I think it's always good to have as much as you can, whether it's your ability to be to physically be able to adapt, whether it's your ability to adapt your looks, whether it's the ability to learn a new skill really quickly. Like for example, for Irada, I had to learn the butterfly stroke for the swimming part. Irada required me to learn a lot of different things, and I really like the fact that more than having one or other skill, I think it's important to be flexible enough to be able to pick up anything easily and quickly, and I'm thankful for the fact that uh, it doesn't feel like a task when I have to pick up something new. I love it, actually. That's the one part that I love the most, is when I'm expected to do something that I can't do.
Okay, which stream do you see yourself would be working if not acting?
If not acting, I would either be a choreographer
Can you just repeat
or a writer.
who are
Yeah.
a little bit? The video just got paused and it's stopping again and again.
Oh, okay. Is this better? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So if not acting, I would either be a choreographer or a writer, which is actually something that I am sort of pursuing right now.
That's something interesting to know. Um, so what do you have to say about, the experiences that you work with a film? Or nowadays there is a lot of trend of web series and different kind of series are coming in and being like in limelight as well. So the Indian content is growing up now since the new age has started, as we all say. So what do you think in that scenario? How are content being seen like? Is web series a good medium for as an actor or as a filmmaker or a story person?
I think web series are really a good medium ground between the serials that we used to have and films. It's that middle ground, and I feel like the content is really out there. You have a lot new ideas, new interesting content. I feel like the kind of web series that are coming out right now are at par with anything that you see in any part of the world, and the production value, the performances, everything is not sometimes better than even the big films. If you see a Patal Lok, if you see some of the new web shows, I think they are really top notch, and they're good for everyone. They're good for filmmakers because they get to dive into storytelling from a different perspective, where you get a strong arc for characters, where you get to really, because when you get to see a character over, let's say, 8 hours, right? One web series, minimum 8 hours, you can explore so much, you can say so much. Plus there's a certain liberty in terms of the content, which means that you can say so much more in so much depth and detail, and I think that's really interesting both for actors and for filmmakers.
Um, do you think that the content of Indian cinema, especially when it is compared to other kind of cinemas, it is more on commercial basis? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends how you look at it, because I think there are people who are trying to make good films, and they could be, I think commercial is subjective, right? Whatever works commercially is commercial, but there is a certain kind of cinema that's perceived to be as commercial. If it has songs, if it's like, fun, we often perceive that to be commercial. But I think there are a lot of people who are trying to make good content, and the day those films do really well, uh, then we won't be making the same kind of films anymore. I think there will be a balance between two different kinds of films.
All right. So if your character was not what you are playing, okay, it was a little bit contrasting to what you're playing, what you think would have been, in a certain scenario? Okay, wait, my
I'm
connection.
sorry, your voice was breaking, so I couldn't.
Yeah. Actually, I just got a call and the connection break out. I was
Oh, okay.
saying, if the character of yours wasn't that liberate, if as you said, so what do you think if that thing is connecting somewhere, also breaking up so many things in a certain stereotype, or the way people say that this shouldn't be happening, or a woman shouldn't be behaving like this. What do you think needs to be coming there? And these
Firstly,
No,
sorry.
I thought you were just thinking about it.
Oh, no. I think firstly, I don't know who people who feels entitled to tell women what they should do, what they shouldn't do, what kind of authority they have. Because I feel like as long as you're not breaking the law, you should not be told how you're supposed to behave, what you're supposed to wear, what you're not supposed to wear. I think we are all, if we are brought up right, I think we will be doing the right things. And as women do not need to be told more than men what they should be or shouldn't be doing.
I agree. So, what do you think if, when we say there is a certain, group of people in India today also that, they actually go further and say, these women are not supposed to do like this, or they are like useless, or, are being grounded at certain level. So, what do you think? What should be, done to revolutionize that, or is it changing anywhere? Do you see that?
I think, every we can talk on a big scale, and we can talk in general, but I think it's about micro moments that occurs to every single individual. And I feel like as much as possible, women need to support each other and encourage each other to stand up for themselves. And when you do, you should not be ostracized, you should not be criticized, and you should be encouraged to speak up when those things happen. uh, I think that's the only way forward. But what I observe is that a lot of the times, women don't necessarily stand up for each other. Sometimes women judge each other. And I think if we don't overcome that, the progress is going to be really slow.
Last but not the least, a message to your fans who've been waiting for you to come back after really long. And for them, lockdown has been like, oh, we need to see her somehow. What is a message for them?
Well, I mean, I whenever I get messages from anyone, I am not comfortable with the word fan, I guess, but anyone who's appreciative and who's positive and who spreads positivity, I reply to every single person personally. But yes, I would like to say that I'm extremely grateful, and I'm extremely thankful. I appreciate every single individual who has who's been positive towards me, who's appreciated my work. And I'm looking forward to their feedback on the 16th of July when this film comes out.
So yeah, all the best from our side as well. And we just hope that this film does really well because it's taken some really important topic and a good initiative that people should be looking after. So I'll take leave. Bye bye. See ya.
Thank you so much.